Thank you, Richard. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for inviting TCS to this event. It's always a pleasure to be in the Philippines. The energy, the passion that one sees on the floor in Philippines is unparalleled. So, one always goes back charged every time after a visit to the Philippines. This, incidentally, is my fourth visit since the beginning of the year. That just goes to show how, I'm based in Singapore, so just goes to show how important Philippines is to TCS and Tata's in terms of our global delivery network model. We were a late entrant, but we are catching up quite fast. What is very nice is that we've expanded in line with our strategy. We've expanded the range of services that we offer. Not just contact centers, of course, that contact centers is part of our strategy from the Manilas. But also in terms of in the last year, it's been very good because we've also been able to expand the industries that we cater to from the Philippines. That has been broad-based. While we started a lot with banking and financial services, but we are seeing a lot of growth in other industries, and that's something that we are really excited about there. So it's been a great year. Richard gave you some numbers. So we are almost 5,000 people now, and we have aggressive plans. Earlier this year, we had the entire business process service leadership in the Philippines to work, and we were working to kind of create our roadmap for the coming years. And so I think, and we have aggressive plans to kind of move to almost about 10,000 people. Again, people is just a number. I mean, the idea is in terms of the content and the quality of work that we want to be delivering out of the Philippines there. We've expanded beyond Manila, so which is nice. So we now have a center in the Clark also, which is also rapidly scaling up. So interesting times, fascinating times. The two speakers before me, Jonathan and Srinivas, both kind of alluded to the trends. That digital is going to be key. So I'm glad my topic is not out of whack, so digital is key. And it is going to kind of, for us, going to be extremely critical, whichever aspect of business that we work with, internal, external, it is going to be driven a lot by digital. All our offerings are going to be driven by how successfully we can leverage digital solutions across the industry. So I hope to be able to give you a little bit of a flavor in terms of what are the trends that we are seeing from our client base and what are we doing to kind of adapt, or where are we investing to be able to cater or support our clients in these challenging times. Okay. All right, so my apologies for the font side. I'll be a little careful next time. But largely, I think like the speakers before me, I think the business environment is extremely challenging. There is, that we all know, there is pressure on profits. The need to be able to innovate constantly so that you're able to differentiate yourself from your competition is now greater than ever before. That puts a lot of pressure on the support organizations within, or functions within the organization, which have to be able to be extremely nimble and flat-footed to be able to meet those ever-changing demands. So your operation strategy has to be extremely, extremely agile. There is a lot of, at one point of time, banking used to be a leader in technology. I think not anymore. I think retail companies are giving them a huge run for their money. So there is a lot of cross-industry ideation or pollination of ideas which we are seeing, or internally we also leverage best practices across industries to be able to cater to a solution problem. I think in terms of priorities, I think for a lot of our CXOs that we speak with, cost of course remains high. Growth is also being threatened because of new business models. Growth is being threatened, so that continues to be high. But innovation is now extremely, extremely high for most of the CXO leaders that we speak with. And they have kind of, that's where they need to kind of work, when we work with our clients, to kind of help them innovate, help them run faster than competition. Okay. So how do we do that? So, a couple of years ago, I think the speaker before me also indicated, business process reengineering was fine. You got that incremental benefit. But I think not anymore. I think what uh, it needs to do, what one needs to do now is bring a whole host of levers to be able to bring that step change of benefits that clients really need. So what we've done is we've kind of put an umbrella called what we call internally as value BPS, which is we want to be able to bring the best of the organization to be able to solve problems. Now this cuts across, this could be platforms, which is very critical. It is analytics, which helps give insights to clients in terms of how do you run some things differently. It could be leveraging IT tools. It could be BPM tools, solutions. So really what we are now focusing is, over the years, previously our entire focus used to be how do we help meet operational metrics. Now that dimension is completely changing to how do we help improve or impact our clients' business metrics. So that's really the big game changer for us that we see to be able to survive and help our customers succeed, is that we want to be able to move the entire needle from being point solutions to be able to cover the entire value chain. We want to be able to positively impact the client's business metrics. So that's our entire endeavor. And the levers that I spoke about is what we typically use to help drive those metrics forward. So how do we do that? So I'm going to talk about 3 areas where a lot of investments have gone in from our organization, and that's where we see a lot of positive results coming on. The first is business process as a service. Really, because given the pressure that organizations are, they are looking to service providers to be able to manage the process on an end-to-end basis. It is no longer adequate to just do a portion of it. You need to have full visibility. You need to be able to do it on an end-to-end basis. And I'll talk a little bit about it later. The second is, it's being talked about a lot, is robotic process automation, extremely critical area. A lot of focus is being put in by the organization. There are 2 components to it. One is the arm, which is the manual part, and the second, which is the brain part, which we'll talk a little bit about. And of course, analytics and the whole range of analytics that is now where companies have to work, because there is so much data available. How do you make sense of that is really where the need of the hour is. So from a platform's point of view, or when we look at business process as a overall, be able to provide business process as a service, platforms is typically absolutely critical to be able to have it. Now, how do we do that? We've kind of looked at TCS, given the IT or the information technology, the IT heritage it has a number of platforms of its own. So we leverage that a lot more than we have ever in the past. That's one. The second is we are in the process of building a lot more, given the domain that given the processes that we run, we understand client businesses, we understand needs. So we've started investing a lot more in terms of the platforms that we build in addition to what we already have. And the third is we also have now more than before started partnering with organizations which bring a certain platform or solution which we don't have. So that's the third aspect. So this is typically work with what we already have. That's the advantage that TCS has as an IT company. We have a number of platforms. Previously, I don't think there was as much collaboration as there needs to be now. So that's something that we are working aggressively on, building new platforms, and then tying up with organizations which bring a certain skill, so that when we go to our client customers, we are able to kind of provide them an end-to-end solution, and where they don't have to really worry about investing huge amounts of capex, and it comes to them as a service. Because what it does for them is that it helps them, it cuts down the time to market significantly. If they want to launch something new, they want to grow, that makes it a lot easier for them. Couple of examples, we've, again, very specific, we've tied up with one of the big 4 because regulatory banks are going through a lot of regulatory pressure. So in terms of, so we bring a lot of domain as far as banking and financial services there, but they bring the regulatory aspect. So we're jointly going to clients to help address their regulatory needs in various geographies. The second is robotic process automation. Now, a lot about has been spoken about this, but really, there are, so TCS, while there are lots of standalone companies which offer this solution in the market, we've developed our own, and this is really from a practitioner's view, this is built by people in operations who face day-to-day challenges, saying that, what if there was a solution to, make life easier? I have to post the same data into multiple fields. What do can it not be done automatically? So that's exactly, so based on, we've leveraged practitioners from our operations team who've worked with our technology colleagues to build these platforms. And I'm going to show you a demo of one of them. And so these are, everybody understands that it's not easy to change the ERP of a company. It's huge investments, nobody has the CapEx amount dollars. So these are non-intrusive, these are non-personable, they are scalable, and what they do is they replace a human being as far as manual activities are concerned. So this is the first part, that's the arm part. The brain part is when they kind of start absorbing the knowledge, and will start doing it on their own. So if I do, it's not the prescribed way, but these are the two changes that I've done, they'll start recognizing that. So we are still some time away, and that's where we are working with our innovation lab within TCS to try and develop that. But this is now in place across industries, across operations, and is extremely, finding a lot of use there. Because internally, while, this industry is also kind of benchmarked with number of FTE. Internally, in our managers' goals, we also have a target is that how many FTEs have I got removed from a process, Because that's the challenge that one host needs to work with, because there is a finite number of people available, and also, of course, every time you bring up, there is a cost to, the person. So we have to kind of work to ensure that, we are bringing in efficiencies into the mix.
TCS's robotic process automation offers a variety of robots specially designed to meet the needs of your business operations. TCS Robo Uniter can help capture information from various systems to create a consolidated view in your system. Business information is stored in different systems, such as Order Management System, CRM, Enterprise Resource Planning System. This information can be in different forms, some structured and some unstructured. But TCS Robo Uniter creates data mashups and repurposes the information to make it more relevant and accessible. The thinking brain captures information from various systems simultaneously and instructs the executing arm, which consolidates and repackages the information and then enters it into the system, making it ready for business use. TCS Robo Uniter thus captures and unites the information without human intervention. With it, you achieve up to 90% reduction in cycle time and 100% accuracy in creating business documents. TCS Robo Uniter consolidates your business information with certainty.
This is just an example of one which we've developed internally, and I think benefit is definitely apparent, especially in banking and financial services or any industry. Not just that it cuts down the cycle time, but also the accuracy significantly increases for any given process there. The second is in terms of, again, as you would notice, it's all on the back of digital, is there is also a need for having tools that are like bolt-on tools which aid efficiency or can fast-track certain processes. So that's another area that we kind of keep working on. There are point-to-point solutions also. For example, a workflow for finance and accounting. Vendor portals. Vendors typically always are calling up their clients to understand, where is my, what is the status of my invoice. So, one of the things that we've given as part of our workflow is that there is a vendor portal available where he can log in. That's just an example. The whole idea is that it self-help. so that you're able to kind of, you're not spending too much time on mundane and, focusing on your priorities. Similarly, a lot of internal solutions which aid transparency. A lot of clients and regulators want to see, because your operations are so far away, what is the status of my operations, what's happening, what is the metrics of the day. So to be able to give that kind of transparency, that's another tool that we've done. So largely driven by operations, how do we kind of make things more smoother for our clients? So, a lot of investment in tools as far as for processing. This is another, and the third area which I said I speak about is the analytics and insights. So over the years, what started off as simple, data capture or reporting kind of activities has over the years gained significant momentum, and we see a huge traction. So today we have almost about 6,000 people globally who are working on high-end analytics for our clients. So in terms of, this includes, multiple, so we've kind of, the needle has moved, the kind of work that companies are trusting us with, or the whole industry has also changed. So from simple data capture reporting, now we've kind of moved to creating models, and helping, leverage, so things like revenue per customer. What can or what is the, what is the, from a portfolio point of view in the collections world, what is the delinquency impact going to be for this quarter? So a lot of predictive modeling, a lot of optimization, a lot of work happening in this scale. And this is again, while banking and financial services used to be a leader, now we see a lot of adoption across retail, a lot of work being done in the airline space. So all in all, fairly exciting times as far as specifically with regard to analytics, there are not enough people. So a lot of our endeavors are also to kind of tie up with academic institutions where specialized courses are being run, so that we are able to kind of think, because as Srinivas spoke, there is a huge amount of data which is really available. But how do I make sense of that? Do I have trained people who can make sense of that data is really where our focus is. I think it's a little blurred, so can't. So this is really just some examples as I spoke about. It cuts across industries. It's across spend analytics. It's about customer insights. It's about marketing, the effectiveness of a campaign, and in terms of, we've also done some programs for the internet as far as wearable devices there. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to kind of be sure I stuck to the time schedule. Just in summary, digital is the way forward. The priorities kind of change clearly from operational to strategic, from operational metrics to business metrics, which really impact the client's business. And the whole endeavor is that we should be able to add value to our clients. So that's really where our focus and our efforts are lying. Thank you very much. That's all that I have.